Hey guys, it's Jules coming to you from New Hampshire. Um, it's been exactly a year since I had a medical emergency. I've never actually publicly spoken about this. I've only told this story a few times to a couple of my friends. But a year ago, I was traveling from Colorado to Portland, Oregon, with my daughter and her friend. Um, I wasn't driving; I was in the back seat, and I was looking out the window, looking at the sky, looking at the mountains, and I'd become very, very disconnected, like most of us that have Parkinson's become. It's a side effect of our medication. And I knew that we had a 3-hour drive ahead of us. Still, we had stopped for lunch, and then we were continuing our drive. So, like a lot of us, I mean, I know I only can speak for myself, but I know it's out there that we use a recreational marijuana to help with our symptoms, whether it's anxiety or dyskinesia or just pain management. And so I took a hit from a dab pen, like I'd done before in the past, and I don't know what actually happened next. My daughter and her friend found me unresponsive in the back seat, and ended up calling 911 and having the ambulance come and take me away to the ER. What was crazy is that my phone was recording a video, but it had fallen. It was like on the seat of the car or the floor of the car, and had recorded the entire scene. And hearing it played back, hearing my daughter screaming, crying, "Mom, mom, mom," is something that I'll never forget. And it's really hard to listen to. They thought I had a seizure, but it didn't. It turned out that I didn't have a seizure. It turned out, well, they suspect that it was a dystonic reaction or a dystonic storm. And I've seen people kind of comment on it. I think Tracy has commented on it. If you've had one, it replicates a seizure. I had all the tests afterwards that said that I didn't have a seizure, but it happened in the ER. And what was the worst thing was that the whole entire time I was in the ER in Rawlins, Wyoming, is they thought I was a drug addict. They tested my blood for fentanyl, for, I don't know, whatever. It was a long list. It was all negative. And then after a couple, like, I don't even know how long I was in the ER for, but it turned into me trying to prove that I wasn't a drug addict, and I ended up peeing peeing by the side of the ER bed in front of my daughter and her friend, which was traumatic for them as well. I can kind of laugh about it now, but long story short, the urine came back, and of course it tested positive for THC. Shocker. And I had even told them that my daughter had told them about it, and even given the pen. But anyways, I had never been treated so badly in an ER before. And that's like a whole nother side story about how we're treated young onset in hospitals and ER. It's like they basically told me that I was like crazy. So, my husband was at a conference on the other side of the country, had to fly in, drive into Denver, and drive like 4 hours to where I was in Wyoming, and my daughter actually we had to get a hotel after I was discharged from the hospital. And by the way, they didn't even have me hook up to oxygen or an IV. It's crazy. I mean, that's a whole nother video. But anyways, so there I was. My daughter had to get up and continue on to school with her best friend and leave her mom alone in a hotel in Rawlins, Wyoming, hoping that I was going to be okay until my husband was able to arrive. He arrived a couple hours later. I was fine, obviously. And then we drove back to Denver, stayed in a hotel. We went out for dinner, and I actually had another episode again in the car, which looked like a seizure, but it was actually severe dyskinesia. Came back, talked to my neurologist, and did the EEG. We did all kinds of tests, and it wasn't obviously, as I've said before, it wasn't a seizure, but it mimics a seizure. So and then I started my journey. Then I started amantadine because we figured out it was severe dyskinesia. At least that's what we suspected it was, and my dyskinesia calmed down. And then I started the road to DBS, and that's my story on that. So, my life's changed in a year. I went from my lowest low to my highest high, and it feels good to be on this end of it. So, thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.